What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to discuss. We have updates on the signing of Nico Williams, how apparently Barcelona are trying to low-key do a secret operation for Dani Olmo, are planning to sell someone big to sign Dani Olmo. We'll have all the deals on that, and I'll tell you my inside information and why I think this could be a potential smokescreen of a transfer. Exit updates as well. We have updates on two players who could be leaving Barcelona, who as of right now are not even officially Barcelona players, being Joao Felix and of course the captain Sergi Roberto, who is now eyeing up some moves to the Premier League after deciding not to stay at Barcelona. We'll talk about that. Big renewal updates on Lamine Yamal, Guille Fernandez, injury updates on Frankie Pablo Torre, a lot of news around the new home kit. We'll talk about the design and when Barcelona could potentially announce the new Nike deal and when the second kit will come out as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try and get to 300 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalonia version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Again, the tradition here, we're going to start off with the news in regards to Nico Williams. And honestly, over the past 48 hours, not too much. Just one report coming in from Candecer saying the important people in Barcelona's sport department have long been certain that they will sign Nico Williams. People close to the player are not so sure though. They don't rule out Barcelona, but they say it's not a done deal yet. Of course. I mean, this is the most blatant, boring report I've seen in my life. I'm just having it here so I can put Nico Williams in the thumbnail. Plain and simple. Look, we'll see what happens over the course of the weekend, but we know now that the personal terms are on the verge of completion. Hopefully by next week, around the middle of the week, personal terms will be done and Barcelona can go out there and speak to Atlético Club personally, saying that, look, Nico Williams has agreed to join us. Let's now talk how we're going to activate this release clause, how we're going to pay what you want, what you're rightfully owed, yada yada yada. So again, we're still not back to the 1-1 rule yet officially. So until that happens, we cannot officially go out there and buy Nico Williams. We can of course go to Bilbao and say, okay, we're going to pay the release clause, just give us a couple days, or we're going to do this. Apparently Barcelona might take out a loan for the release clause and then pay it, or whatever the case may be. But until the 1-1 rule happens, we cannot officially sign Nico Williams. We can sign him, pending 1-1 rule or whatever the case may be, but we still got to return to that mark. But for now, Nico Williams on track, getting closer. Hopefully, I'm praying that we can finish this deal by the end of this month. Of course, with Barcelona, you just never know. We are last second FC, but I'm hoping that we can get this done by the end of this month. Again, Atlético Club do start their preseason soon. I think Nico Williams is due back there at the beginning of August. So of course, the club want to prevent him from going to preseason camp with Atlético Club. Valverde's talking about him in the media, saying that we're looking forward to having him next season. Of course, he's going to say that, he's the manager. That makes sense. But again, everything's on track, and hopefully next week will be the deciding week to get everything done as soon as possible. Now, the biggest news over the past 48 hours, without a shadow of a doubt, has been the immense reports about Barcelona's strong interest in Dani Olmo. Now, we're going to break this down bit by bit, brick by brick, and then we're going to analyze it, and I'll give you guys my opinion on it. Firstly, the news broke from Joao Romeu, who's been quite spot on over the past week. He's come out saying that Joan Laporta has asked Deco last weekend to do everything possible to sign both Nico Williams and Dani Olmo. Following this, Mundo Deportivo, Fran Martinez confirmed it, I think a few hours later, saying that Barcelona do in fact want to sign both Nico Williams and Dani Olmo this summer. Deco met with Olmo's agent on Tuesday and Nico Williams' agent on Wednesday. Advancements were made in both meetings, so he's made some progress, but of course nothing's done. When I first saw this, I'm thinking, how the F are we affording 120 million? I think Barcelona can have 120 million to pay, of course, in installments for transfers. These two deals are both release clauses, which means they have to be paid right this second, right now. It's not like, for example, last summer when we signed, we actually bought him for free. Let's look at the summer before that, for example. When we got Rafinha, we paid 60 million to Leeds. We, of course, paid, I think, 15 million last summer, 15 this summer, then 10 the next summer after that. So it's all in increments. So you can, if these deals are in increments, I would not be worried whatsoever. But it's release clauses, which means they have to be paid the second. So that means out of the bank immediately from Barcelona, 120 million. That's problem number one. Problem number two is, where the hell is Dani Olmo fitting in this team? Look, he's a fantastic player. Yes, he has the connections with Barcelona. He used to play in La Masia, yada, yada, yada. But like I told you guys 2 months ago, and I'll say it again, he is a luxury signing. He's a player that you bring in when your squad is complete and you want to bring someone in for competition and freshness, like what Man City did with Haaland 2 summers ago. Their squad was complete. They just need that one extra player to push them over the edge. They won the treble, of course. That was Erling Haaland. Dani Olmo would be that for Barcelona, of course, when our squad's complete, which is not right now. So that's the point number one. Now, following this, the day after, Joao Felix came out saying that, I'm not going to say a name, but today there were 2 representatives who gave me the same name of a Barca player who could be put on the market in the event that Dani Olmo arrives. I didn't expect this name, to be honest. Are we really ready for the arrival of Dani Olmo and the departure of someone important? I would be worried if this was the case. Now, Joao Felix said that he doesn't want to give the name out of respect for Barcelona because he does not want to hinder negotiations and stuff like that, because of course Barcelona has been very, very upset with the media leaking stuff and, giving away their tactics in the market and making it even difficult to sign players, because everyone, their dogs, know that Barcelona want Nico Williams, so stuff like that. The chat was, trying to ask for some hints. People always thought initially it was Gundogan after the reports about Gundogan over the past few days. But Joao Felix said, look, the important player is not Gundogan. By the way, swapping Gundogan for Dani Olmo for me would be brilliant. I wouldn't, pursue it, but if it happened, I would not be mad at it. Of course, Gundogan has 1 year left in his deal. Yes, he was our player this season, last season, the most consistent player, fantastic baller. 1 year left. He's 33. You swap him out, sell him for 20, for example. You bring in Dani Olmo, who's fresh, who's young, off the back of a fantastic Euro. Of course, he's Spanish, can play in the team as well. Knows the system and style of play of Barcelona. Way, 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 way younger, medium, long-term signing. Makes perfect sense in my book if the club can do it. We're, of course, operating in normality, 2015, 2016, before, of course, our transfer ban. This would make, logical sense. But right now, it's like, it's not really worth the time and hassle to do that. But apparently, Barcelona want to bring in Dani Olmo and sell an important player. Everyone's saying who this important player is. I'll tell you this right now, it's Frenkie de Jong. There's no one else in the midfield anyways that you would get rid of for Dani Olmo apart from Frenkie de Jong. And again, with his contract situation as well. People have been suggesting Ter Stegen. I'll tell you this right now as well for free. It is not Ter Stegen. It could be someone in the defense. It could be maybe Araujo, Christensen. God forbid. God, yeah, Allah forbid. It's Jules Koundé. But again, I think this is all... I'll tell you guys what I think. And then Sergi Roberto came out. He's speaking about he's on a live stream with Mateo Morito. He said that Dani Olmo and Barcelona, so we'll have to wait and see what happens because his release clause expires in a few hours. And I don't think anything will happen in the next couple of days. And I said this, of course, a week ago. I said there's no one's going to activate Dani Olmo's release clause, because again, Dani Olmo is a luxury signing for a lot of clubs in the world of football. The only club that could actually use Dani Olmo is Bayern Munich. But who do they want? They want Desiree Udoy from Ligue 1. Or they want Xavi Simons. Those are 2 players that they want. So they don't really want Dani Olmo. And again, I already gave this list in the last video of all the top 10 teams in the world that all have 10s. So there's no one out there that wants Dani Olmo. And of course, his release clause as of recording this video had expired. So if you want Dani Olmo, you got a fresh start negotiation with the RB Leipzig. Now, Dani Olmo said in an interview during the Euros that if no one actions my release clause, it's going to be very, very difficult for me to leave because RB Leipzig are going to make negotiations very difficult. Now, whether there's a gentleman's agreement that RB Leipzig will sell Dani Olmo for 60 million even after the release clause expires, sure, I think his transfer is still on the table. Anything more than that, ain't no way in hell this is happening, especially from the Barcelona perspective as well. It just doesn't make sense to me, in my opinion. Now, also, Joao Felix gave some more information on Dani Olmo. He said that, look, Laporta and Deco want to enhance confidentiality, and there's no information leaking from within the club. Our news yesterday about Deco's meeting with Nico's agent was a blow to them. Some say that this is news from the club to sell illusions, but I swear it is not from the club, and they are not even worried about the news that we have on these matters. So what I want to do is strengthen the information protection, and I think it's good for us, and I'm speaking as a public fan and not as a media figure. He's absolutely spot on. Yes, you can get information, but it's best not to leak it. Because, again, the fans want to know, of course, what the club's doing. I understand that, but I wouldn't give out too much details. I would just say, Barcelona's in talks with Nico Williams. I wouldn't give the details about meetings and stuff like that. Because, remember, no one knew about the meeting until Gerard the Mayor leaked it. And then everyone else is like, yeah, this is true. Because they want to, of course, sell their papers, get their clicks as well. Now, on Dani Olmo. For me, personally, I think this is just a smokescreen. I think this is just a wise smokescreen to cover up the advancements on Nico Williams. Spending 60 million on Dani Olmo, or even more, especially now with his release clause expired, would be top 5 dumbest things the club has done in my lifetime as a fan. Fantastic player. I would take him at Barcelona. You're telling me you're willing to spend 60 million on Dani Olmo when we need a fucking DM. We need a pivot. We're desperate for a ball-winning midfielder, and you're going to spend quadruple that value on a creative midfielder, which we already have 3 of in the team. 4 if you count Rafinha, 5 if you count Joao Felix coming back. What is the point? What is the point to have him as a backup option on the left wing? Piss right off. So this is why I think it's a smokescreen. Because again, Rodrigo always says Nico Williams, then pivot, and then we'll see with Jeremy Frimpong and Dani Olmo and all this stuff. It's quite clear the club are a big fan of Dani Olmo, but I cannot stress enough: do not be stupid and go and spend 60 million on Dani Olmo when there are still huge holes in this team. If everything is sorted out and you have 60 million, you want to go get Dani Olmo, fucking crack on. Be my guest. I would encourage it. But when we need a midfielder, when we're crying and desperate and on our knees for a midfielder, again, specifically a box-to-box or a DM, whatever Hansi Flick thinks is best for his system, do not miss out on that opportunity. If we spend 60 million on Dani Olmo and Almondua Arona went to Aston Villa for 60 million, I'm going to fly to Barcelona myself and give the fattest slap to Deco that I've ever given to any slap in my life. You cannot be that stupid. This is why I think personally this is all smokescreen, maybe to give hype to Dani Olmo himself and we really wanted you, we really tried, but we'll get you next time kind of thing. Again, I've kind of said this a lot over the past few years because we've been linked with Dani Olmo a lot. I sense that we will probably get to sign him when he's like 28, 29, 30 when he's a free agent. I think this is not going to be a player that we spend proper money on. Again, it could be wrong, but this is my perspective. I think this is all a smokescreen, all just noise and rumors to really shadow over the fact of Barcelona's movements for Nico Williams. That's what I personally think. Because again, if you told me sell Frankie de Jong for Dani Olmo, I would say no. Sell Christensen for Dani Olmo, I would say no. Sell Araujo, I would say no. Kunde, I would say no. Gundogan, I would say yes. Fermin Lopez, I would say no. Pedri, I'll stay away from that conversation. Rafinha, no. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So, we'll wait and see. I would suggest let's see what Barcelona do after we sign Nico Williams, see how much money we have left, what the club do want to prioritize, things of that nature. But I think personally this is all spoken. And again, I will say this one more time. If we spend 60 million on Dani Olmo or more, especially now that his lease being expired, and we don't sign a midfielder, I am flying to Barcelona personally, waiting outside for Deco to come out of the Ciudad Deportiva Joan Gamper or the Sports City, wherever the hell he is. I'm going to ask for a picture, and I'm going to slap the hell out of him. I'm going to say to him in English as well, you idiot. You want to spend money on Dani Olmo when we need a midfielder. You twat. We have rumors about Romeu staying. We'll talk about that later on. And you want to tell me I'm going to go get money on Dani Olmo. Piss right off. We'll wait and see what happens. Again, I think this is all a smokescreen. But again, the interest in Barcelona for Dani Olmo is still very, very strong. But we'll have to wait and see how the Mercado develops from the Barcelona perspective to see if this signing can, in fact, become a reality. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is a player that's not even a Barcelona player. But again, it's still relevant news on his departure from Barcelona. And that's, of course, Joao Felix. Of course, his loan deal expired on July the 1st. The club announced that he was leaving. Then they deleted their statements and they kept him online as a player for Barcelona and all this stuff to kind of make him happy. Now, there have been reports coming out from the Atlético Madrid media saying that pending, of course, for the confirmation, there is confidence within Aston Villa to make a deal for Joao Felix happen. Watch out for Unai Emery is what they're saying. Also, Media Marca are coming out saying that Atlético Madrid wants 60 million euros to sell Joao Felix this summer. Benfica are hoping he can return, although it seems difficult for them. They're only willing to spend around 30 million euros. Now, again, Barcelona want him on loan, so it's either a loan or bust for Felix. Now, also, Mateo Merito came out saying that Atlético Madrid want to sell Joao Felix. Barcelona cannot sign him as they don't want to repeat last year's formula. This may drag out unless an English club arrives with an important offer. Premier League interest is there. Jorge Mendes is knocking on a few doors. I think this is pro Barcelona here. Marco also came out saying that Joao Felix has 1 week to find a new destination. Otherwise, he will have to reunite with Diego Simeone and return to Atletico Madrid preseason training, a scenario that all parties want to avoid. I will tell you this right now for free. This situation will not be resolved in next week. We will see it. I think Joao Felix will return to Atletico Madrid, train with them, all that sort of stuff. If you want a Barca boy prediction, which again, my predictions usually hit. I'm pretty sure I'm like above 90% accuracy. I can't remember the last time I was wrong in terms of Barcelona. Like, of course, got some Euro predictions wrong. But I think Joao Felix and Barcelona are going to ride this out till the end of the transfer window. They're going to do the same thing to Atletico Madrid. We'll take him on loan. We'll cover his salary. We'll give you a cheeky little buy option this time to make you guys happy. That's what I think will happen. I hope, personally, this is my opinion, that he does move on somewhere else, because I see Ferran Torres, I see Ansu Fati, I see Nico Williams, I even see Rafinha and Lamine Yamal as all better left wing options for Barcelona. Joao Felix is a player who's very much based on moments. He's a moments player. He wants to thrive in the high intensity area. He's someone that again plays very close to the striker. He's not a pure left winger. You want to play him in the 10 behind Lewandowski? Sure. But again, you already have Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Gundogan, Rafinha who can play there, so signing him makes no sense. I think Barcelona are very well covered in the left wing, of course, in the addition to the signing of Nico Williams. So losing on Joao Felix for me would be no problem. Again, like I said last season, he needed to get double digits in both goals and assists for me to really be on the hype and really be, pushing for him to stay. He didn't. I think overall this season, I think it was his best season individually. I think off the bench, he's an alright player. This is why we're in a good position. If we can sign him on loan again, sure, whatever, I don't care. But I think it really comes down to other players suffering. I really prefer, I got the Ansu Fati socks, I'm not going to lie. So if we didn't have Ansu Fati per se, I would be, saying, you know what, ride this out. We get him on loan, cool. If not, whatever. But again, with Joao Felix, by the looks of things right now, it is a bit difficult for him to return to Barcelona, I would say. In the next few weeks, maybe last week of the transfer window, things can change. Now, the president of Atletico Madrid was speaking to the media, and he was asked about Joao Felix, and that we are waiting for Joao Felix to join us back because he's one of our players. He's a magnificent player, and we will sure succeed wherever he goes. Now we have to wait for him to see where he wants to go in the future. So he's basically saying that we're going to wait for him to return from his vacation and then decide his future. This is going to be dragging on for quite some time now, but keep your eyes on it. I know for a fact that Aston Villa and Benfica are showing some good interest in him, and the fact that they do want him. They're willing to spend some money, whereas Barcelona is saying, look, you want to come back to us? Probably got to wait till the last week of the transfer window. Low buy option to Atletico Madrid. Crack-a-lackin'. So we'll wait and see with Joao Felix. I do hope that he ends up going to Benfica or Aston Villa. I think he'd do really well at Aston Villa, to be honest. I think Benfica would be a bit weird of a move, but I don't think he would be someone of benefit to Barcelona. I think this would just simply be the fact of Joao Laporta and Deco making Jorge Mendes happy if we do this deal. I don't think he adds any value to Barcelona. I think he's a good player, but not someone that really fits in what we need at this moment. So we'll see what happens with Joao Felix, but again, right now, further away of a return to Barcelona than he is closer. Now, alongside Joao Felix, another player that right now is not a Barcelona player, but we have an exit update on. It is the first team captain, maybe not right now, but officially, Sergi Roberto. We've not had an update on Roberto since his contract officially expired. Of course, there's been a lot of news about Nico Williams in the Euros, but now we've got some reports. Gabriel Sanz of Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Sergi Roberto no longer wants to wait for Barcelona to be able to register him. He says goodbye to Barcelona and is already listening to offers. The player has already interest offers from Sevilla and Valencia, but he wants to play outside. Again, I think that doesn't want to play against Barcelona twice this season guaranteed. His intention is to play in the Premier League, and he's working on an offer. So he's basically saying that, look, Roberto's he's not gonna wait anymore. He's gonna go look for offers. He finds one that's good. He's gonna sign, and he's going to move on. Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Sergi Roberto and Barcelona are expected to part ways this summer. He has not agreed to join any other club so far, but he is exploring options. English and Italian clubs are showing interest. Tony Juan Marchi then came out saying that Sergi Roberto is starting to realize that he has to look for a team elsewhere. However, he's still mainly waiting to get a call from Barcelona. If they do call him in the next few days or weeks, he'd rather, of course, extend his deal than go anywhere else. And finally, Mateo Merito came out saying that 99% chance Sergi Roberto will not continue at Barcelona. Now, if you're watching the channel for quite some time now, over the past few months, I've been very much on the stance that I think Roberto's going to stay. Personally, for me, as a fan, if he stays, cool. If he doesn't stay, cool. I said on no offense, I think there's pros and cons for him staying and leaving. I don't really care. I think the prime time for Roberto to leave was last summer when Busquets left, Jordi Alba left, Piqué left. He should have went off with them into the sunset, but he wanted to stay. I think he wanted to stay to be the captain for 1 year, maybe lift the trophy. I think that was his mindset kind of thing. I think he should have left then. Since he didn't leave then, doesn't matter. I think last season he played well for the games that he was called upon overall. Of course, he had 2 stinkers, the Villarreal game, Bilbao in the Cup, the 2 worst individual performances last season. But of course, take away from that, he had some great performances, great displays, and I think he can be a useful player in the squad. Someone who wants to sit on the bench, lead the team, come in here and there if needs be. Again, pros and cons to his situation, so I personally do not care. However, what I think will happen, I think he will stay. I think the 1% is going to happen. I think what will happen is that Barcelona will return to the 1-1 rule. They'll sign Nico Williams. They're going to register everyone and think, oh, damn, we still got some space left. Sergi, my boy, come on down. That's what I think is going to happen. Of course, as of right now, we're not in the 1-1 rule, so we can't fit Roberto on the salary cap, so of course it makes sense for him to leave. I think he will end up staying. I think he will wait it out a little bit longer, and I think in the end, once we officially return to the 1-1 rule and all this stuff, I think he will continue. That's just what I personally think will happen. I cannot see Roberto leaving, but if he does leave, I think the way he's left, it kind of sucks for someone who's, been a great servant for the club. Whether you count him as a legend or not, I'm personally thinking he's more of an icon than he is a legend, but he has been, without a shadow of a doubt, a long servant for the club. I think he should have gotten at least a decent send-off, but the fact that we kind of let this late for quite some time now does kind of suck for his reputation. And again, the persona of Laporta not treating legends properly at Barcelona is picking up some pace with this. Even though Roberto, might not be a legend in your books, I think by the club standard model, he will be considered a legend. So we'll wait and see with Roberto. I still think he'll stay, but everything in the media is saying that Roberto is not going to continue at Barcelona. Right now, he's looking at offers elsewhere. He'll analyze what he has, and once he makes a decision, he'll probably call Barcelona saying, hey, look, I'm going to Brighton. You going to give me an offer or not? Yeah, no. Then he'll make a decision. That's what I think will happen, but I still think Roberto will end up staying. That's just my personal prediction and opinion. So we'll wait and see how things turn out with Roberto. But as things currently stand, according to the media, he's very, very, very unlikely to continue. Now, another player that is attracting heavy interest for a potential departure is, of course, Eric Garcia. Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Girona are confident that they will sign Eric Garcia again this summer. The player likes the club and is still in contact with their manager, Mikayil. Now, of course, Eric Garcia at the moment is on Spain international duty at the Olympics, so his future will probably be pushed back until mid to end of August. With Araujo's injury, it's kind of shaking up a few things here. Again, I'm very similar to my Roberto stance. If Eric Garcia stays, cool. Again, my opinion. If he leaves and we get some money, cool as well. With the injury of Araujo, you do need some coverage. Again, he's going to be out for a long time, the whole entire first half of the season. You get one injury to Christensen or Koundé or Kubarsi, you're down to your last bones at that point. So you need some coverage. Again, you have Mikayil, Faye, Inigo, Eric Garcia. From these 3, I think 2 will end up staying. Which 2, though, are the big question. Again, it'll come down to offers, players' desires as well. I think Inigo right now is pretty safe with only having 1 year left in his deal. Us having that deal in his contract where we have to pay him no matter what. We pay him if he stays or leaves or free. If he retires some more, we still have to pay him for the following year of his contract. So I think Inigo has good options. I think with Eric Garcia and Mikayil Faye, it'll come down to offers coming in. Of course, Mikayil Faye, Porto, 15 million. Eric Garcia, Girona, 15 million. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out. I think with him being at the Olympics, nothing will be decided at least until August. So we'll see with Eric Garcia. Again, interest from outside is very strong, but Barcelona do have a strong position in his future. And again, a key decision, especially with the key injury to Araujo. Now, also on the Inigo and Mikayil Faye talk, Gerard Romero has come out saying that let's see what happens with Inigo Martinez's future, because they are seeing Mikayil Faye very well in training and, of course, his potential talent. So he's saying that right now that Barcelona are leaning towards keeping Mikayil Faye ahead of Inigo Martinez, which again, I wouldn't mind. They're both left-footed. You want to go back to the town. The issue with Inigo Martinez is that if you do get rid of him, the best thing to do, of course, is not be paying his salary whatsoever. But what team is going to take, 130K a week Inigo Martinez? There's basically no one out there. I would tell you that right now. Unless he agrees to, cut ties with Barcelona, then maybe the other team will pay him like 50K. The other 90, 100K left, he'll give up, whatever the case may be, then sure. But that's my issue with it. I don't mind keeping Mikayil Faye. I think he's a very, very good talent. And again, if no one wants to give us the money that we want for him, why not keep him? I have no problem with that whatsoever. But watch out for their performances in preseason. That'll be the very, very key telling part. Of course, we're now 10 days away from seeing Barcelona in action again against Man City in America. So we'll wait and see on that. But again, the center back department in regards to the reserve players is heating up a bit. Eric Garcia, Inigo, Mikayil Faye all need their futures decided. Especially with that Araujo injury, we could see potentially 2 out of the 3 of them stay. Now, a player who, according to reports, is set to stay after following numerous amount of exit rumors, basically a month after he joined, it is Oriol Romeu, and it is coming in from Xavi Lemos. of TV3, who is quite a reliable source, and he's saying that Oriol Romeu will continue at Barcelona. Hansi Flick told the player that he trusts him. Couple things here. Number one, why? Why? Number two, what I think this is a message from Hansi Flick to the fans, saying that, look, we ain't getting a DM. And if we ain't getting the DM, I'd rather have Romeu than no one. Which again is logical, especially with Roberto now unlikely to stay. You cannot just rely on Marc Casado being your only natural pivot. I get that. And again, with the offer coming in from Girona, we'll take him back for free or nothing else. Just save on his wages. Not really that tempting for Barcelona, but again, we only spent $3 million on him. He did pay some of his release costs from his own pocket, so shout out to Romeu. Don't hate the guy. He is just crap. But do not be fooled by his performances in the preseason, because we were all fooled about it last summer. Don't fall for it again. But I just think this is Hansi Flick saying that, look, we're not buying a pivot. This is the message that I'm giving. If Romeu is staying, that means we're not signing a pivot. And again, go back to Dani Olmo at the beginning of the video. If you're spending $60 million on Dani Olmo and not on an effing pivot, what is going on? Who is running the show here? Because again, I might have to go infiltrate the city and run this show myself, because bloody hell, I do a better job. I'll pick the talents, you guys go there and negotiate the effing deals. Like, I'm sick to death of the club always bouncing around what we need, and then they kind of wait like 4 summers later and then sign the player that we need. Great example of that is Luis Suarez. We've been dancing for a freaking striker since David Villa broke his leg at the Club World Cup. Took us about 4 years and a bite in the FIFA World Cup for the club to pull their head out of their arse. And Bartomeu, of course, was on the verge of having an election, so he had to go spend big, especially with the transfer ban coming in. We always do this, so I'm waiting for further confirmation. I don't think this is the quite reality of it. I think this is more so maybe people around Flick and Romeu kind of hint to the media that, look, right now he's gonna stay, because mainly we're not really planning on bringing in a pivot. So we'll see with Romeu's future. Again, all I can say is this: time will tell. Anything in the mercado can happen. I don't think this is guaranteed per se. I think things can definitely change. And also, do not be fooled by his performances in America if they're on the better side. Let's then discuss some contract renewal updates around Barcelona. Firstly, on the renewal of Guille Fernandez, huge renewal for the club, of course, following his cousin Tony Fernandez renewing a few days ago. Guille Fernandez has renewed his contract. The club just announced that he renewed it. There were no details on the length of the details of the contract, whatever the case may be. Reports are it is a renewal until 2027. And again, it was the La Masia who announced it, not really the club per se, saying that, look, he's going to trust Barcelona's philosophy, their growth, and the club can only thank him for choosing that. Again, he's touted out to be one of the best midfield talents that we've produced since, I don't even know since who, maybe Thiago. Yeah, his ratings and his performances are outrageous. Again, he's the youngest player to ever play for Barca Athletic as well, breaking Lamine Yamal's record. Like, it's crazy what he's doing. And also, the interest for him was so strong. Tony Juan Martin came out saying that Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Man City were all following Guille Fernandez's development and offered him much more money than Barcelona, but the player's family, taking into account Guille's will and contentment to Barcelona, did not even want to sit down and talk with any of those other clubs. Guille only wanted to play for Barcelona, even though he knows that he was getting less money, and he never wanted to meet with the above-mentioned clubs, who did everything to get him, and just he signed a deal until for the next 3 years, so again, until 2027. So, again, when Man City and Bayern Munich and Dortmund are knocking on your door at age 15, 16, offering you more money than your boyhood club, that shit can be tempting. I'm not going to lie. Of course, we saw someone else take it a few weeks ago in Marc Guille, who's now apparently going all over to Espanyol. How hilarious is that? Marc Guille just pulling an Ilash Mariba. It's absolutely hilarious. But again, phenomenal renewal here for Barcelona. Also a very important renewal, as his rating is skyrocketing. The Fernandez twins, the cousins, see how they do over the next year or two, because I would not be surprised if their first team members come the 2025-26 season, because their ceiling is, the sky's the limit for them. So we'll wait and see how their developments go, and hopefully they will be on the plane to America, both Tony and Guille, especially with the lack of numbers that we do have in the first team. But phenomenal and key renewal that Barcelona have completed. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Lamine Yamal. This has hit left field. Sport have come out saying that Jorge Mendes has asked Barcelona to modify Lamine Yamal's contract and make a major economic effort after the player's big rise recently. There's already an agreement to extend Lamine Yamal's contract until 2030, next year when he turns, of course, 18. He's currently right now 17. His birthday was last weekend. Couple things here. Number one, people are losing the value of the promise, talent, trust, and ability of Barcelona. Like, when Marc Guille flops, people will realize how nurturing a club like Barcelona is in developing talent. Would Lamine Yamal have exploded anywhere else? Honestly, I don't think so. I think maybe he would have maybe in the future, maybe when he's like 21, 22, but at his age, I don't think so, because Barcelona alongside Ajax are the only clubs that nurture their talent, that are very, very good into their first team and give them multiple amounts of opportunities. Look at Chelsea, for example. They, of course, produce great players, but what do? They sack the ball from their 16-17, they go and play in Sweden's 5th division, Denmark's 4th division, then they come up out of nowhere later on. Everyone's like, oh, he was a Chelsea Academy graduate. Oh, what I think it's called Cobham or something like that. Oh, they're a great academy. No one nurtures the club like Barcelona. And I think people and agents take away that value quite a bit. I would not increase the salary. I'll say, look, man, you got an agreement. We'll talk in 2028. Piss right off right now. Go sell us our shirts. Go play at a team. Listen to the Champions League. And then we'll talk. Major economic efforts after 1 Euro campaign. Less of that. Yap. We need some further confirmation as well. The report from Sport is reliable, but he's not, top tier. So we'll see on the Lamine Yamal. Wouldn't rush to conclusions too much. But again, after his apparently great performance, but after his stellar performances in the Euros, apparently his agent is pushing for an additional renewal and modification of his contract to increase his salary. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just two quick updates. Firstly, on Pablo Torre, the club have confirmed that he has successfully had his operation on his fracture in his left hand and that he is scheduled to join preseason training from next week, which means he'll only be out for about a week or so, and he should be training back next week. Again, I don't think he'll play against Man City in that first game, again, because you don't want to know the roughness. Maybe if they banded it up, maybe he could play. But, yeah, we thank God this wasn't a serious injury. Again, it looks like he ran into something and broke his hand, but the surgery was successful. Again, he won't be out for too long. He will be back in training next week, which, of course, is good news. Next update we do have, and the final one, is on Frankie de Jong. Now, Koeman's been yapping in the press yet again, talking about Laporte and stuff like that. I'm not going to really address that stuff because I think Koeman, I respect him a lot as a player, as a manager. He was shy, but I don't really want to get into Barcelona legends at this point. But he's come out saying on Frankie's injury, saying that Frankie is worried about his injury. He had to play important games when he was not ready. He had no rhythm in games or training to play versus PSG. I understand it was important for Barcelona, but it was not good for Frankie's health. Again, I want to bring up the fact that he did that about 5,000 times to Pedri, but we'll leave that to rest. Of course, Frankie de Jong and Koeman have an excellent relationship, and if he's saying that Frankie de Jong is worried about his injury, then fucking hell, so am I. Again, he is scheduled, he is planned to be on the plane to America, which will take off at some point next week. So if he's not on that plane, I'm absolutely shitting myself. So we'll wait and see how things do turn out in that regard. But again, Koeman giving us some negative news on the potential serious and long-term injury of Frankie de Jong. Let's discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. We do have some updates in regards to, again, preseason training. Now, firstly, there have been a lot of reports about players saying that, oh, they've never felt this intense and this great in training before. It's such a different level. It's a high level. Go look at my videos when Xavi came in. They said the exact same thing. And look at the people who are in training as well. Romeu, Clement Longley. I mean, let's not really take their opinions too lightly, but I'm not going to bring that up. Having Government came out saying that with Hansi Flick in charge now, the activation games in pre-training stages, which took place under Xavi, have ended. Now there is work from the first minute and no room for leisure. In the 9 days so far, special emphasis have been on physical training. Now, if you do watch Xavi's training, you can see that he does a lot of games just to get the body moving, get things going, the tic-tac-toe on the pitch, run and tag your mates, running around in a circle, a little bit of fun, just to get things going, then you get to the serious stuff. But Hansi Flick is like, nope, serious stuff first, get crack-a-lacking right at it, so that's the change. Now, that's something that's very noticeable. That's, of course, something that makes a lot of sense. Again, we'll see how it translates to on the pitch. That is what I care about the most. Now, also on training, a lot of developments around Ansu Fati. Mundo Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona's technical staff have designed a special plan for Ansu Fati to improve his physical performance. Sport came out confirming this, saying the Hansi Flick staff is carefully managing Ansu Fati with a specific plan tailored to improve his physical performance. During an open media session on Friday, which again is on the YouTube channel for Barcelona, if you want to go watch that. Fati was seen following a different routine that his teammates during the initial warm-up and strengthening exercises, while the rest of the team did the same exercises together. Fati worked separately with Rafa Bolando, the physical trainer, and German Fernandez, the gym and physical trainer as well. Julio Toulouse and Pepe Kunde are also closely following his progress as well. God, I'm sensing an Ansu Fati hat-trick against Man City, man. I'm not even kidding. I just need one goal in that game against Man City. Oh, that's all I need. With the 10 as well. Oh. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. We can only dream. We know the talent of Ansu Fati. We know the physical issues that he had. Again, Mendy has blood on his hands for absolutely shattering this player's career. But hopefully there is a little bit of everyone thought that at the end, a little bright light at the end of the tunnel for Ansu Fati. So wait and see how that turns out. And again, these are the things I want to see. It's all good. Nice to see the talk in the media. Training is different, more intense. We have a specific plan for Ansu Fati. I want to see results on the pitch. Now, speaking about the pitch, we do have an update on Barcelona's return to the Spotify Camp Nou. Candidates have come out saying that Barcelona insists that before the end of this year, the team will return to the Spotify Camp Nou with a capacity of around 64,000. Now, I still do not believe this. I've seen the videos recently of the Barcelona stadium and it does not look ready beyond belief, but if the club say so, we'll wait and see. Again, I want to see results. I think that the club, personally, my prediction would be that we return around the end of January, beginning of February. Again, apparently there's still complications with the UEFA to see if we can change stadiums midway through the season, because the UEFA have a very strict rule that you cannot change stadium. You have to stay at one stadium the whole entire year. Of course, 1,000,000,000% with the start of the Montjuic. We're trying to finesse UEFA to let us go back to the Camp Nou when it is, in fact, ready. So we'll wait and see on that front and wait and see whether or not we do return by the end of this year. I don't think we will. Again, personal prediction, with the club are emphasizing a lot in the media that we will 100% return at some point in 2024. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to kits and a little bit of Nike news as well. Of course, if you've been sleeping under a rock, of course, on Thursday, the club announced the new home kit, and they did advertise it with the Spotify logo, not with the Spotify logo and the text. To be honest, it looks way better in person, man. Again, those edits really look crap. The ones when Gigantes Jardomero leaked it, but these ones, tell you now, man, this is the best kit I've seen at launch. As a Barcelona fan, I've been supporting the club since 2006, got really into it, 2008. Never have I seen a kit when they released it be this good. 2020, 2021 was really, really good. This takes the hit. Of course, 2014 50 kit is iconic. 09, 08, 09, 10, 11. Those are all iconic kits. We really love the design of it. But at the initial launch, I've never seen a kit better than this one. And the numbers, of course, do not lie. Candidates have come out saying that yesterday, of course, being Thursday, sorry, was the best first day of shirt sale in the history of Barcelona. Within 3 hours yesterday, they sold the same amount of shirts as they did the entire day of last year's release. A huge boost was seen in sales to the club's e-commerce system. This is what happens when you not only perform well, and not only are you rumored to sign good players, but also you produce a damn good kit as well. Last season, the only reason why people bought that... Where's the kit? Do I have it right here? Yeah, I do. 1 second. The reason why Barca fans bought this mid kit, I think it's not great, it's not crap, it's really, really mid. You know why people bought this? Because we just won the double. We just signed Gundogan, we signed Romeu, we're signed Inigo, we're on the high. Champions Season Part 2. This is why people bought this kit, not because of how it looks. This one has a lot to do with how it looks. I want to have a remontada season, flick, new era, Lamine Yamal balling in the Euros. This is why the kit sold. And again, it comes down to a lot on how it looks. Now, a couple of details on the kit. Number one, and if you go on the website, you cannot order a kit of Victor Roque and Kubarsi because they don't have first team numbers right now, which again, take that as you will. If you look at the rows here, by the way, of shirts as well, there's some areas where you can't see Inigo's number, you can't see numbers of Victor Roque, so some speculations there could say on their futures. Now, that's be all and end all. Let's talk about some numbers and who's selling the most kits. As of today, the three top kits that are selling right now in terms of names and numbers, of course, are Lamine Yamal number 19, Pedri number 8, and Gavi number 6. Am I surprised? No. Did I predict this? Yes. Go on my Twitter. I said, look, I guarantee you the sales will be these three. And I said fourth would be Robert Lewandowski. So, not surprised whatsoever. I think probably fifth would be Frankie de Jong, somewhere around there. And again, it is Lamine Yamal. That's skyrocketing. Apparently, the club ran out of A's on the first days. And of course, he has, 3 A's in his name. They apparently ran out of A's, of course, with Gavi as well, probably. So, they're doing very, very well. Lamine Yamal, though, is the one that's spearheading everything. Mundo Deportivo came out saying that there had been a madness for Lamine Yamal's number 19 shirt after the release. In the first moments, the most demanding size were sold out, and the store workers had to replace the stock, although they were already prepared for the forecast that Lamine Yamal shirt would be the best-selling one. In addition to Lamine Yamal, of course, a lot of people bought Gavi and Pedri. So, this is what happens when your stock is, through the roof. Lamine Yamal could not have won the Euros any perfecter time than he did right now. So, not surprised by this whatsoever. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, when is the better kit going to come out? The second kit. According to Memorabilia on Twitter, the second kit will be released on August the 12th. I think he said 14th at first, and he made a correction saying that it is going to be on the 12th. I believe the 12th is... that's the day of the João Gamper, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. So, we might be playing in the João Gamper this kit. Again, I've seen some leaked images of this kit, and I tell you what, man. Madre mia. The kit looks fire. I don't know how they're going to have it as the full Spotify logo. Again, I got to see the actual release to really be moved by it. But again, just based on the leaks, this is going to be a ridiculous kit. And I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Now, finally, of course, we do have an update on the deal with Nike. People are saying that, oh, since releasing the kit, are we going to renew with Nike 100%? No, remember Barcelona lost their court case, so we're stuck with Nike 100% until 2028. But again, the renewal is still on track. And Memorabilia has come out saying that the deal between Barcelona and Nike may be announced during Barcelona's tour in the USA. Of course, that does make sense. Nike is an American company. Stars aligning, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, the deal is essentially done. We're just waiting for some logistics to be sorted out between the two parties as well. Some terms and conditions that need to be, found out. Again, the renewal is basically, majority of it, sealed and agreed. So hopefully that will be announced during the American tour. That would be a nice touch as well. Especially if we do sign someone. Maybe Nico Williams, we bring him over there, hold the shirt, announce it as well. I think it would all be aligned perfectly. So wait and see how that turns out. But again, the home kit, looking absolutely fire. If I would never say this, but I'm going to say it. If you're thinking of buying a kit, do not think further than buying this home kit, because it is the best kit I've seen at launch supporting this club. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. Of course, the main thing I want to firstly is your thoughts on the transfer of Nico Williams. Think it will happen or not? I think it will happen before the end of this month. Second, your thoughts on the whole entire Dani Olmo confronto. Would you sign Dani Olmo? For how much? Who would you get rid of? That's an important player in this team to sign Dani Olmo. Would you sign Dani Olmo ahead of a pivot? Leave your thoughts down below. Thirdly, your thoughts on the future of Joao Felix. Would you keep him or not? Would you go for a low? Would you spend money on him? And finally, your thoughts on the future of Sergi Roberto. Do you think he'll end up leaving, like the media is saying, or are you going to side with Barca boy and think that he may end up staying? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.